Hi, my name is Berlinda Mensah, and I'll be presenting my graduate research on a robust HR strategic plan for the merger of Aldi's and Kroger stores. This project is for MGT6485 Human Resource Management applications. The agenda for this graduate research will be introduction, a hypothesis, a walk through the research methodology, company overview for Aldi's and Kroger, the organizational comparison of both companies, or do a cultural assessment for both companies as well, strategy for implementation, two literature reviews, the research limitations, as well as the strategic role of HR in acquisition. I'd go through the HR strategic outline, the implementation schedule, conclusion, as well as the 21st century implications and references. Introduction. This graduate research will be to carve out a robust HR strategic plan for the merger of Aldi's and Kroger stores. As part of this graduate research, I'll be reviewing HR's role in acquisitions. I'll also do an overview of both organizations in regards to their culture, structures, and values, while also suggesting ways to ensure that the acquisition is very successful. Gone were the days when HR was only brought in at the tail end of the acquisition. In the past, HR had been seen from a more administrative task performance perspective rather than seen as playing a very active role in the overall attainment of strategic organizational goals. This strategic plan will ensure that the necessary strategic HR processes are put in place to ensure easy assimilation both pre and post acquisition. This will be in the form of designing a strategic plan that takes into account training, compensation and benefits, employee retention, and hiring needs as a result of the acquisition. The hypothesis of this graduate research project is to design a concrete HR strategic plan for the acquisition of Aldi, which is a discount supermarket chain headquartered in Germany, but with presence in more than 18 countries, including the US. The acquisition is being done by Kroger Company, which is one of the largest retail companies based in the United States. In terms of methodology, the methodology to be used for this graduate research paper will be existing literature as well as articles from the web on the structures of these two organizations, as well as HR strategic models that have been leveraged for past acquisitions. This graduate student will be reviewing two case studies on potential viable acquisitions between four organizations, being Walmart and Morrison's, and Cisco and LinkedIn. Now to the company overview. For the Kroger Company, as it's known, is an American retail company whose operations are mainly through supermarkets and department stores. The company was founded by Bernard Kroger in 1883 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Kroger boasts of about 2,719 grocery stores in about 35 states across the United States. The company has about 135 1.4 million department stores, 191 marketplace stores, 33 manufacturing plants, 2,273 combo stores, 1,642 department fuel centers, 2,254 pharmacies, 225 medical clinics, and 127 jewelry stores. Kroger is considered as America's largest supermarket retailer by revenue, while ranking 25th in the list of Fortune 500 companies. As of 2023, Kroger had a revenue base of about $150 billion with an employee base of 414,000. Kroger has been into acquisitions as far back as the 1950s. In fact, in 1955, the company acquired Henke and Pilot, a 26-chain store company based in Houston, Texas. In June and July of the same year, it acquired Cranber Food Stores in Wisconsin and Child Food Stores, which then had 25 supermarkets spread across Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. Kroger further acquired about 56 store chain in 1963, the Dillon Group of Companies in 1983, Hannaford Stores, and a host of other stores in the 2000s. Now to Aldi's company overview. Aldi is a combination of two German family-owned discount supermarket chains. Aldi boasts of about 12,000 stores spread across 18 countries. The chain, which was started by two brothers, is currently split into two entities, which are Aldi Nord, which is headquartered in Essen, and the other being Aldi Süd, headquartered in Mulheim. This separation is both on the financial and legal level, and this has been since 1966, although the company was started in 1946. Both companies operate independently. They are also tied, although they operate independently, they are also tied together on some contractual levels. In Germany, Aldi Nord owns 35 regional companies, 2,200 stores, while Aldi Süd owns 32 regional companies and 2,000 stores. On an international level, Aldi operates in several countries such as Portugal, China, UK, Switzerland, Spain, Austria, United States, etc. Aldi Nord also owns Trader Joe's. Aldi has a total of 274,172 employees with 103 billion in revenue. In terms of organizational comparison between Aldi and Kroger, both organizations sell groceries. Aldi has international presence, while Kroger is heavily US-centric. Kroger has 150 billion in revenue as compared to Aldi, who has a revenue of 103 billion. Kroger also has 414,000 employees, whereas Aldi has 274,172 employee count. While Kroger focuses on variety, Aldi focuses on unparalleled pricing. Kroger operates as a traditional supermarket, while Aldi focuses on delivering goods at a discounted rate. The average store size of Aldi is 12,000 square feet, while Kroger is 80,000 square feet. The product count of Aldi is 1,400, while Kroger is 15,000 and up to 225,000 at marketplace stores. Lastly, Aldi is into no other additional services except grocery, while Kroger has full centers, pharmacies, banking, and clinics in some of their stores. In terms of cultural assessment, in a review done by Indeed, where former employees were asked to rate either Aldi or Kroger based on management, culture, and compensation, in terms of overall rating, Kroger was higher than Aldi by a very minimal margin, where Aldi scored 3.2 and Kroger scored 3.3 on values such as management, culture, and compensation. Although Aldi hones in on work-life balance in their mission statement, they scored 2.7 as compared to 3.2 for Kroger. In terms of compensation and benefits, however, Aldi scored 3.7 while Kroger scored a low of 3.1. In terms of job security and advancement, Aldi scored 3.1 while Kroger scored a 3. Also in terms of management and culture, Aldi scored 2.9 respectively, while Kroger scored 2.9 and 3.1 on culture respectively. On one hand, Aldi is highly rated on compensation and benefit, but on the other hand, Kroger is highly rated for work-life balance. In the face of an acquisition, however, there has to be a lot of consideration for those differences on how to strike a good balance between these key attributes. Kroger ultimately prides itself in what they call the Big 9 cultural values, namely agility, which is quick response to customers and market; collaboration, which is working as a team regardless of department; customer, which is the prioritization of the customer's needs; diversity, which is promoting inclusivity in spite of race, gender, ethnicity, etc. Execution, which is accountability and empowerment to make decisions; innovation, which is open to new ideas and technologies; integrity, which is being honest and ethical; performance, which has to do with rewards and recognition, as well as respect, which is courtesy for all, including colleagues and customers. In 2024, Kroger was awarded by Newsweek as America's greatest workplaces for diversity. Aldi's culture, however, is broken into 3 categories: simplicity, consistency, and responsibility. Their simplistic nature can be clearly seen in the way their stores are structured, where the goal is to keep everything simple, nothing elaborate as compared to Kroger. In terms of consistency, they have always been consistent in their quest for delivering affordable, discounted goods to all. In regards to responsibility, they use their 4 pillars to take care of their employees. The 4 pillars highlight the need for kindness to each other, providing work-life balance, development opportunities, and a great working environment for all. Now to the strategy for implementation. The aim of the acquisition is mostly for the expansion of Kroger into other countries. Since Aldi is a household name in these other countries with well-accepted delivery process, Aldi should be independent or somewhat autonomous on some levels, even post the acquisition. Since both organizations have a robust organizational structure, The structure will need to be slightly reworked to ensure Kroger US leadership has some form of extended oversight into Aldi. Both cultures make room for its people to thrive, so there will be the need to merge their values, which should be pretty similar because at the heart of each organization is the people first mentality, both for Aldi and Kroger. Since Aldi is headquartered in Germany and Kroger is only US centric, it is really important to pay rapt attention to country cultures as each country operates differently on a cultural level. Lastly, due to the size of both companies, the bid should be more of a negotiation tactic instead of an aggressive one. Now to the first literature review. This 2025 case study, namely Mergers and Acquisitions, Walmart and Morrisons, evaluates how viable an acquisition will be between these two companies, which is Walmart and Morrisons. The acquisition will be more of a strategic attempt for Walmart to expand into the United Kingdom, Europe, the Far East, and the Gulf states. Walmart, which is one of the largest departmental discount stores, which was founded in 1962, operates in several countries under different names as well. Morrisons, however, was founded in 1899 and is mostly UK based with over 420 stores across the UK as of 2004. The case study defines an acquisition as the process by which one company takes over the other. The case study also outlines some of the benefits of mergers and acquisition, especially in the Walmart-Morrison scenario. As a benefit, this acquisition will lead to the strengthening of balance sheets for both companies, an additional cash investment for Walmart, the proliferation of market shares for both companies, reduced competition for both of the companies. This will lead to tax-free exemptions for both Walmart and Morrisons. Morrisons' net worth will increase because of the share that it will own in such a large company like Walmart. And lastly, this will also ensure that Walmart does not have to start the expansion process from the ground up, as Morrison is already a household name in these areas. According to the case study, the reason why Walmart should choose to acquire Morrisons over others is because of Morrisons' profitability, its bigger market share in the UK. Morrisons had a better management structure than others, and Morrison has more financial viability than others. In terms of turnover, Morrisons also had very minimal turnover compared to others. Lastly, Morrisons' tax rate was considerably lower than the normal rate. All these factors, as mentioned by the case study, will ensure that the acquisition will be a successful one and both companies will significantly benefit from it. This case study recommends that Morrisons be the right choice for Walmart acquisition because of its robust management structure, which is something that Walmart currently struggles with. Now to the second literature review. The second article to be used for this research is the case study of a potential Cisco LinkedIn acquisition, namely Mergers and Acquisitions, Cisco Acquires LinkedIn, which was published by Kelly Porter. As per the essay, this acquisition could potentially promote Cisco's strategic bid to foster communication, which is LinkedIn's wheelhouse. This essay outlines a potential strategy for this acquisition. The strategy sees acquisition as a win for both companies, as Cisco is a company which operates in network, technologies, and communications, whereas LinkedIn is a much younger company which focuses on social networking. The acquisition, as per the case study, will give Cisco an unrivaled position on the world market. Also, since these two organizations do not have the same target audience and interest, the acquisition, as per the case study, will lead to an expansion of these values. The essay suggests a more negotiation-based bid tactics as opposed to an aggressive one. The essay also reiterates the need to focus on integration, as most acquisition puts this in the back burner. They highlight the need to focus on a key integration feature, which is human capital, as that is where the knowledge is concentrated. As per the case study, an inability to provide proper human resource management will lead to future issues. The writer additionally suggests that the integration program should include getting to know employees and the company values, pay particular attention to leadership and how information flows, as well as employee involvement in the working processes to foster overall adoption. Since Cisco has acquired about 70 companies already in the past, the strategy should stay pretty much the same. It was advised that negotiations should not only be financial based, but process based as well. Other implementation factors that were suggested for consideration are the acquired company's autonomy, retention, and the timeline for integration. To evaluate success of the acquisition, one of the key factors is employee retention post the acquisition. In fact, being able to retain employees from the acquired company was highlighted as a key prerequisite to measure the success of the acquisition. In terms of limitations, the articles are based on suggested potential mergers. Hence, there's really no way to prove whether the acquisition will be viable or not. Also, Aldi is actively taking steps to fully expand into the US by getting about planning to get about 800 stores, so the acquisition might not be a really straightforward one. In terms of the strategic role of HR in acquisition strategy, I'd say the role of HR does not only start post-acquisition. In fact, HR will need to be in the loop during the acquisition process, as they have a very critical role to play before and after the acquisition. During the acquisition, I've suggested a couple of things that HR has to do, and some of them are to conduct due diligence in regards to employee benefit plans, compensation, and performance management. To also identify strategies for retention and employee development, whilst ensuring that the organization is legally compliant as it relates to compensation and benefits, as well as employee relations. HR has to clearly communicate with employees on the impact of the acquisition to their current roles, if any. They would also have to be change agents by communicating the benefits of the acquisition and what it means for both companies to employees. HR will also have to work diligently to align the cultures of the two organizations while spearheading the integration of HR information systems for consolidated headcount reporting and standardization across the two organizations. HR should also evaluate procedures and practices across organizations for a more seamless assimilation. They would also have knowledge of the acquired company's performance evaluation processes to see where it aligns or deviates from the acquiring company's processes. HR should also do an analysis of the acquired company's jobs in terms of knowledge and skills required for the job and how it aligns with the acquiring company's jobs. Additionally, staffing needs will have to be evaluated by HR, and trainings will have to be conducted to ensure that employees have a clear understanding of what their jobs entails going forward. This will be applicable, obviously, to both the acquired and the acquiring company. In terms of strategic outline, learning and development will be paramount. Since these two organizations are headquartered in different countries, with Aldi having operations in several other countries, there will be the need to evaluate which statutory courses are mandatory based on the country and business they're in. Once these trainings are identified, HR will ensure that the same courses are migrated into Kroger's HR system and the courses are readily available to employees at the same cadence. Courses which cannot be migrated for compliance and audit reasons will have to be kept in the original system, and the original system will have to be maintained until a path forward is defined. Additionally, employees from the acquired company will immediately be trained on the overall values based on the value alignment, which was aligned by HR as part of due diligence. Leadership will also be trained on each company's organizational structure so as to avoid any type of confusion. Through training, identified gaps as a result of the job analysis that was done as part of due diligence will be addressed to empower employees with the needed tools in order to grow. Lastly, trainings will also be given on cultural sensitivity and respect for others across board. In terms of compensation and benefit, Kroger will conduct a pay evaluation based on role analysis and pay employees at par with what Aldi pays so as to curtail any frustrations on both sides. Aldi employees will enjoy the 10% discount option for store associates, regardless of location, which is already in place for current Kroger associates. Also, Kroger's existing benefits policy for both present and past associates being able to access medical, vision, health, and dental plans will also apply to Aldi associates. Associates from both Aldi and Kroger will be entitled to both short-term and long-term disability, while Kroger's retirement plan, which includes the giving of a predetermined amount of money upon retirement, will be extended to Aldi. Kroger will also offer discounts for training materials, vehicle purchases, mobile phones, etc., to Aldi associates. Also, in order to foster work-life balance, which Kroger is well known for, Kroger will extend its flexible scheduling options for both full-time and part-time employees to Aldi employees as well. Lastly, paid time off, including paid sick leave and holidays, will be extended to Aldi based on employee eligibility and their length of service. In terms of hiring and retention, In order to ensure employee retention, there will be a hiring freeze in the first 3 to 6 months post-acquisition. With the help of an externally sourced vendor, all jobs will be analyzed to ensure that there are no redundancies. Employees in both Kroger and Aldi will continue with their current roles since Aldi has presence in locations that Kroger is not yet in. Also, employees, especially leadership, will be shuffled across Aldi and Kroger so they can become conversant with each other's processes and structures. Based on job evaluation, employees will be promoted from within in order to foster employee growth and retention. Additionally, employee rewards and recognition will be published in all stores, both local and international, in order to keep the morale up. Lastly, virtual collaboration options such as Teams and Zoom will be leveraged to ensure that employees, irrespective of their location, will get to know a little bit about employees in similar departments, but who are located in different countries. Now to the schedule for the implementation. Job analysis will be done between 3 to 6 months before the completion of the acquisition. Process and practice review alignment will be completed 3 to 6 months before the acquisition. Change management communication will be sent within 2 months prior to the acquisition, and channels will be provided for employees to reach out if they have any questions or concerns. We would use the initial 3 months post-acquisition for training across board. This training will be a continuous process to foster adoption of the change. Hiring freeze will be put in place between the first 3 to 6 months to ensure that already existing employees are considered for promotion, development, and any type of gap closure. There will be cultural assimilation evaluation between 6 to 9 months in order to be able to react on time if any gaps are identified. Would lastly conduct lessons learned between 9 to 12 months while also evaluating the success of the strategic plan by measuring how many employees were retained. In terms of conclusion and 21st century implication, gone were the days when HR's role was mostly limited to administrative tasks. HR plays such a pivotal role in the strategic direction of every organization. Their role in acquisition especially is so critical that the absence of it can lead to major setbacks with the whole acquisition. This could take the form of high turnover, role conflict, effort duplication, wastage of monetary resources, a dip in performance, employee frustrations, and the list goes on and on. The success, however, of an acquisition is majorly dependent on the retention of the human capital, which is why HR's role in acquisition cannot be overemphasized. References. Thank you.